Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, my loves, it's midnight on a what? On a what? On a Monday! Oh my god, that's my new midnight. Ooh, midnight Monday. Bro, if you don't like it, get off my channel. Point blank, period. Anyway, we're back with another midnight Monday. I already missed like a month, but like then again, like, did I ask? It doesn't matter. It's okay. I'm back now. Okay. Get your juice boxes, y'all. Let's get into it. First bit. Okay. This is Sapphire. Whoa, I'm going backwards, okay? Y'all get your juice boxes. Let's get into it. First bit, okay? Hospital elevator. Bro. I'm being weird. Hospital elevator. Filipino urban legend story with Sapphire animated scary story time. It's a long title. Okay. It's by Sapphire Sandalo. I hope I'm saying that right. Her video will be linked down below. So will her channel. Let's get into it. Oh.
Hi, Oddings. Welcome to Stories with
Today, all the videos are animated.
Sapphire. I'm your Ate Sapphire. The following story is based on a popular Filipino urban legend. And now, it's story time.
Her intro go hard. Bro, I need to get a face cam. Oh my god, it's coming soon. I'm not saying how soon. Actually, not that soon. It's coming. Let me just say it's coming. Alright, shut up. Y'all got your juice boxes? Shut up. Shh. Drink your juice.
Chaz had been working at St. Cajetan Hospital for 10 years, an extremely rare feat. The turnaround on average was a year. The shortest amount of time anyone had quit was within a week. It wasn't easy working at St. Cajetan. People said its employees were cursed. Lights would fall on people's heads. People would slip on completely dry floors. Frequent fires would break out. Patients would sometimes become inexplicably violent. No matter how many times they inspected the building or how many security guards they added, the employees of St. Cajetan were always targeted by bad luck. But Chaz didn't believe it. In the decade he'd been there, nothing unfortunate had ever happened to him, although having his coworkers constantly changing around him made it difficult to keep friends at work. It bothered him at first, but he'd gotten used to keeping to himself. He thought it might even be the reason he's managed to stay safe this whole time. After clocking out late one night, he hopped into the elevator and immediately pressed the door's close button so he could take the slow ride down to the lobby from the 11th floor alone. When he got to the 9th floor, the doors opened. He reflexively reached out to press the door's close button, but stopped when he saw who was standing there. A pretty young woman he had never seen before. There was something about her that made him want to talk to her. He placed his arm in the gap and led her inside. "Are you new here?" The woman nodded shyly. "Chaz, it's really nice to meet you. Isabel." For the next few nights, Chaz would ride the elevator alone down to the 9th floor and only let Isabel on. Little by little, they got to know each other in that elevator each night. She had moved here from far away, so she wasn't familiar with St. Cajetan's reputation. She seemed excited, fresh, positive, an extremely rare energy to find at that hospital. For the first time in a long time, Chaz was open to making a new friend. One night, Chaz rode the elevator down, and just as predicted, it opened on the 9th floor where Isabel was waiting to get on. This was the night he decided he was going to ask if she was interested in grabbing a drink with him sometime. Right as she stepped inside, they heard a loud crash at the end of the hallway. They both looked out. From around the corner, a man emerged, limping and heading straight towards the elevator. "Wait! Wait!" the man cried out. Isabel reached her arm out to hold the doors open. The man picked up his pace. "Help me!" As the man got closer and closer, Chaz's stomach began to churn. Something wasn't right.
Trust
The
your
man
gut,
was now only a
button.
few feet away from the elevator. He waved his
What's your
arm
name,
at them,
Isabel?
revealing
You're
a
getting yanked
giant bleeding gash in his side.
Oh, tough.
Chaz immediately pulled Isabel back and closed the elevator doors. They could hear the man pounding on the door as they descended. Why did you do that? We have to help him.
You just trusted
There
his
is
gut.
no helping him.
No, exactly.
What are you saying? He was wearing a red wristband. We only put those on
That's
patients
crazy.
who've
My gut
died.
just dropped, bro.
Isabel's jaw dropped in disbelief. They both
So,
stood
okay,
in
I was
silence,
right there in the hospital.
catching their
So I was
breath.
like, wouldn't you just go to, like, what?
Wow. I was wondering what this was.
Bro.
Chaz quit the next day.
I would too.
If you don't want to be cursed with bad luck, like this video and
I
subscribe
would
to my
quit
channel.
too.
Submit your own stories to storieswithsapphire@gmail.com. For more spooky, supernatural, and spiritual stories, listen to the Stories with Sapphire podcast.
First of all, I'm fighting her in that elevator for 100%. She's getting fought in that elevator, bro. I'm literally swinging on her. And two, bro, I can't. I'm stressed. Animation, next animation. Okay, y'all. This next animation is True Trailer Park Horror. Story animated by Wancy Entertainment. I think we've seen one of their videos before. My other Midnight Mondays will also be in the description down below, 1 and 2. Actually, I think I'm gonna just put the link to the playlist down there. Yeah, okay. Let's give it a like. I'm gonna open and play.
My name is Brianna, and this happened to me a
Got your
few
juice
years
box?
ago. I live in Silver City, New Mexico, and I was in a bad place at the time. I was living in a trailer park during that period, and I was about to walk to see my boyfriend. It was late. I'm not sure what time it was, but it was between 12 and 3 a.m. I got out of the house, turned on my phone flashlight, and began walking. Keep in mind that there is one large orange street light that illuminates the mailboxes near where you would turn to drive into the trailer park. However, as you walk down...
I'm a little lost. Why is she out there alone? Hold on. Bro. Please work.
I'm not sure what time it was, but it was between 12 and 3 a.m. I got out
Why are you out there 3 a.m.?
of the house, turned on my phone,
Wait, is she picking up her boyfriend? Okay, we gotta go all the way back.
to me a few years ago. I live in Silver City, New Mexico, and I was in a bad place at the time. I was living in a trailer park during that period, and I was about to walk to see my boyfriend.
Oh, okay, I get it now. Okay, but like, why are you going to go see your boyfriend at like 12 to 3 a.m. in the morning? Were you like sneaking out or something? Or like, were you a grown woman and then just decided this time frame zone was the best idea? Okay.
It was late. I'm not sure what time it was, but it was between 12 and 3 a.m. I got out of the house, turned on my phone flashlight, and began walking. Keep in mind that there is one large orange street light that illuminates the mailboxes near where you would turn to drive into the trailer park. However, as you walk down the road, there were no other lights. Not even a single house light. I've always been a bit paranoid, but it was only a 10 to 20 minute walk, so what's the big deal?
No.
So I began walking down the street, and my flashlight barely lit
No
anything.
lights?
I could see a few houses, but as I walked further down the road, I saw a massive ditch filled with trees, grass, weeds, shrubs, bushes, and a rail going down. On the right side of where I was walking, there was nothing but dirt and hills. I kept looking back as I walked to reassure myself that there was no need to be so worried and afraid, but I was just so nervous. I could see the end of the street from where I was standing. There was a dance studio on the left and a large fenced-in house on the right, almost like a checkpoint. It was a little far away, but I figured if I kept my flashlight straight and walked quickly, I'd be there in no time. Suddenly, I heard these movements, almost like steps.
First of all, why'd you stop looking behind you? It's a rule.
However,
Hearing the other footsteps is like disgusting to me.
they weren't mine.
Turn around, bro. Oh, I swear to God, if she turns around so slow, I'm gonna be so mad.
I stopped and pointed my flashlight at the railed ditch, hoping to see someone walking or even an animal pass by. But there was no one there.
Oh, what about behind
"Hello?" I yelled, shining my flashlight towards this big, eerie tree that slumped over the rail. And nothing. I turned around to see if there was someone behind me, but there wasn't anyone. I thought I was
shit,
just
you-
freaking
nah,
myself
you gotta
out, so
book
I
it now.
kept walking. Then I heard a hissing noise coming from the hills, almost like a cat or a large animal.
you? Okay, then we're fine.
Pointed
This
my
is animal.
flashlight to
I
my
mean, unless
right,
you're getting mold.
and
Please,
there it was.
better be a bear.
I stopped in my tracks, my heart in my throat. It wasn't an animal. This thing had skin, clear skin. I could see its spine.
Run!
I didn't get a good look at its face, but it had an unusually long arms and legs. It was on its
I'm not
arms and
winning that.
legs
I'm
and
with-
charged right at me. I had no choice but
Thank
to book
you.
it down the
Should've
street
been
without
red.
looking back. I remember dropping a
fight
couple
it
of
with,
items from one of my jacket
that'll be
pockets or
fightable.
pants pockets, but I didn't go back. I could hear its heavy and harsh breath getting closer and closer. I didn't have time to scream or cry or even get a better look at this thing. Finally, I made it to the light pole next to the fenced house. I looked back as soon as I got under the light pole, and the creature was gone. I stood there for a moment, wondering if I was just paranoid and my imagination got the better of me, or if I had actually seen some demonic, ugly skinwalker thing. I had no idea, but all I knew was that I needed to get the hell out of there. I ran down the street
Period.
until I reached my
Exactly.
ex-boyfriend. I'd never felt more at ease with his arms wrapped
Ex.
around me, just cuddling me and holding me tight. I never ended up telling him what I saw until a couple of years later. To this day, I still don't know if it was my mind playing tricks on me or if what I saw was actually a bloodthirsty creature preying on its next victim. I never returned to that trailer park or the road leading to it, and I hope I never have to.
Y'all broke up. Or was you just going to visit your ex? Like, I don't know why that's my concern out of everything. She was smart though. She should have been ran as soon as you heard those footsteps and turned around and there was nothing there though. Okay. Okay. Animation, next animation. Okay, guys. So this is 3-2 IKEA animated horror stories. We're only gonna watch one out of these three. If you wanna finish watching the rest, their video will be in the description. So will their channel. We was gonna watch a different animation that I had, but sadly it was not in English and there was no captions for it. So we're gonna watch this one instead. Like I said, it's by MJV Animations. Their video and channel will be in the description. So if you wanna finish it, you can. Let's get started.
I'm a female and recently moved into a new apartment. It's not too far from
Damn, didn't know female voices could get that deep. Oh, that was a joke.
I'm a female and recently moved into a new apartment. It's not too far from where I previously lived, so I know the city well. I really like my place and live in a one-bedroom unit on the second floor of the building. When I first moved in, about 3 weeks ago now, I didn't have much furniture. Where I lived in the past, I had roommates who owned a lot of the bigger things, like couches, tables, and lamps. After getting into my apartment and bringing all of my things inside, I realized that I needed to go shopping for some furniture badly. Over the next few days, I looked at countless websites online. I knew what I wanted for most of the things and did get a couple online, but I found that there was a lot of good furniture at IKEA. The IKEA store was a little bit outside of the city and about 15 minutes from my apartment. So on Saturday morning, I got in my car and headed to IKEA for some basic furniture and decorations. I had been there a couple of times before and knew what to expect. The place is massive and you could easily spend hours in there. I probably got there at like 10 a.m. and sure enough was there for about 2 hours. I looked at so many different things and ended up getting a decent amount of furniture and objects. The time that I was there, the store started out relatively quiet but picked up as the day went on. When I was just about done, things were pretty busy. I saw a lot of different people, and when I finally left, loaded up my car and headed home. I was excited to get back and finally decorate my apartment. It took me a couple of trips to bring everything up, but once I was in, I started the job of building a few pieces of furniture. I furnished my apartment for most of the day, taking breaks here and there. That night, though, as I was hanging some artwork on the wall, there was a knock on my apartment door. I had no idea who it would be. It was like 10 p.m., so kind of late.
Yeah, I would not answer.
I walked over to the door and looked through the little peephole, but nobody was there. This was strange, because I hadn't really met any of my neighbors yet, and none of my friends were coming to visit me or anything.
Oh, don't open that door, I swear to God.
I opened up my door and stepped out into the hallway to
You
look
stepped
around.
out too. You could have got
However, I
kidnapped.
didn't see anyone. After that, I just went back inside and
probably
continued
let
on what I was
something in.
doing. I finally finished for the night about 10 minutes later. Then I sat down on my couch and relaxed by watching something on TV. But it was then that my cell phone started to ring. It was on the couch next to me and I felt it vibrating. I picked it up to see that there was a call coming in from an unknown number.
Don't
I
answer.
had a terrible feeling instantly.
Don't
I
answer.
didn't bother to answer it because I had no clue who it was, although I somehow
Very
felt like
smart
it was
thing to
connected
do.
to the random knocking at my front door. Whoever called me did not leave a voicemail. For the rest of that night, they didn't call back, whoever it was. I went to bed maybe an hour later. But that very same night, I woke up sometime at about 3 a.m. or so. At first, after waking up, I just rolled over to my other side and closed my eyes to go
I'm getting paranoid.
back to sleep. I was not wide awake or anything, still pretty sleepy. But that's when I thought I heard the sound of somebody trying to enter my apartment. It was
Okay, I thought she, okay, my mind was somewhere totally different. I thought she was gonna like open her eyes and there's gonna be someone right there. Or she like feels breathing on the back of her neck, bro. Like, I was like, no, please.
doorknob turning, but it didn't open because of the door being locked. After hearing that, I was now wide awake. I wasn't sure what to do, but I didn't hear any noise for a few minutes. I decided to get up and go investigate.
Noise.
Without turning any lights
Or like
on,
my TV
I
loud
quietly
as fuck.
walked over to my front door. When I looked through the peephole this time, there was nobody there again. I did not go out into the hallway to look, though.
Okay.
I was too scared to do that this time. I just walked back into my bedroom and attempted to go back to sleep, but it took me a little while.
When I tell you, I'm staying.
Eventually, though, I did. A couple of more strange occurrences like this happened over the course of the next several days. None of them were as eventful as the first night, but 2 days later, I got another phone call from an unknown number late at night. Then, the very next night, there was just 2 knocks on my front door. It was a little bit earlier this time, at like 8 p.m. When I went over to look out, once again, nobody was there. The next night is when I started to figure out some things, though. I got another random knock on the door late at night. And when I looked through the peephole again, like always, I couldn't see anything. White.
Okay, so one, I would have stopped looking at the people. If I'm not expecting anybody, no.
When I looked through, I was very hesitant to open my door.
Why would you open it, you dumb?
I was afraid that somebody would be right there or something.
What do you think? If your people's covered, you can't see nothing? What do you think? What do you think?
So I decided not to go out.
Okay.
But about an hour later,
Okay.
I hadn't heard anything more that strange, so I decided to go out and look.
But you still going out? I would have stayed in that house.
When I opened up my door, no one was there in the hallway or anything. But I saw that somebody had taped a white envelope to my door right over the peephole. I grabbed it and then went inside. When I opened it up, there was a handwritten letter. It was very creepy to say the least. The letter seemed like it was from a sort of cryptic stalker. The person described how they had seen me the other day. They said they regretted not talking to me and asked if they had gotten my attention now. They also asked me why I hadn't answered their calls. I was beyond creeped out by it.
First of all, how'd you get my number? Second of all, why'd you follow me? Third of all, if I didn't answer the first time, what makes you think keep calling again is gonna work? Even if I did answer, oh, I saw you, blah, blah, blah. You're getting blocked instantly. I'm calling the cops because how'd you get my number? And if you're not gonna, what?
But it doesn't end there. The next morning, when I got up, I checked my phone.
I'm moving.
I had a text message from a new number. The texts were just a few pictures and videos. I saw the pictures appeared to be me when I was inside of IKEA. Most of them were zoomed in and taken from kind of far away.
Hello? I would like to report a murder! FBI, open up!
I had no idea that they had been taken either. There were a couple of short and shaky videos as well. They maybe lasted about 5 seconds or less each, and they showed me walking in IKEA. I realize now where this person had probably first seen me. After seeing these texts, I took some screenshots and then decided that I would go to the police.
Okay.
That very same day, I went and reported everything. I was told that they would look into it, and I'm really hoping that they find the person, whoever it is. That was not long ago at all. So far, the person has not been found yet, and I have no clue who it could be. The good news is that I haven't been bothered by them since. Nothing strange has happened at all. No random phone calls or texts. No knocks on my door or anything. I just hope it stays that way.
Okay, like I said, if y'all want to watch the rest, down below. Animation, next animation. Y'all, this is our last animation. It is skipped to a minute because that is sponsorship.
Want to hear something scary?
Oh wait, shit, my bad, y'all. This is a head. Oh, stop! Oh my god, guys.
Some stories are just
Wait.
perfect for the spooky.
Wait. Okay, this is a headless horror story inspired by the legend of Sleepy Hollow. What? Okay, I'm confusing myself. Snarled. I snarled. Video. All of this will be down below.
Season, and some places are seemingly synonymous with Halloween. Places like Salem and, of course, Sleepy Hollow. But if you hear the clip-clopping of hooves on a dark night, you better watch your head. The old Dutch church in Sleepy Hollow was ready for Halloween. Its creepy silhouette was illuminated by the flickering glow of jack-o'-lanterns. My classmates and I stood outside listening to the historian, Mr. Hans Mueller. The Headless Horseman was once a real man, as real as any of us, standing directly where we are now. The historian continued. During the Revolutionary War, a Haitian soldier had been on a horseback when he came under attack. While attempting to escape, a cannonball had blasted his head clean off his body. His horse rode around the village with the lifeless, headless corpse of the soldier still in his saddle for hours before finally collapsing. When word of his death reached Germany, the family had traveled all the way to America to lay their father to rest. And now, Mr. Mueller said, when the air turns crisp and the nights grow dark, the ghost of the Headless Horseman emerges from its grave and then screams. And out of nowhere, my face was covered in something slimy. I wiped off the pumpkin pulp from my cheek. It was a cruel prank by Ethan, my jerk of a classmate. He stuck his hand inside a decaying pumpkin and hurled the insides right at me. I suppose I should have been thankful because at least the mush was hiding my tears. Laughter erupted, but Mr. Mueller's voice cut through the noise. "Silence," he shouted. His eyes narrowed menacingly and the laughter died down instantly. Ethan turned pale as Mr. Mueller berated the class for not taking our tour seriously, warning us about the consequences of ignoring the history's lessons. While my classmates boarded the bus, their hurried whispers carried the weight of Mr. Mueller's unkind demeanor. It was in the solitude of the restroom that I took a moment to compose myself, wiping away the traces of frustration etched on my face. The tour of the Sleepy Hollow Church had ignited a seed of curiosity in Ethan's mind. That night, just days before Halloween, he and some classmates planned to sneak into the graveyard and try to catch a glimpse of the legendary Headless Horseman. But it's no surprise that I wasn't invited to join them, and I couldn't help but feel relieved. As darkness fell and the fog thickened, haunting sounds filled the air as they ventured into the cemetery just outside the old church. Suddenly, they heard a clopping noise. It couldn't be real, but as they hushed one another, it became clear. A horse was approaching. As the animal sped nearer, they caught sight of a monstrous figure atop it. Illuminated by the moonlight, in the mist, a jack-o'-lantern's head with glowing eyes was unmistakable. The Headless Horseman charged towards them with a hunting knife in hand. "Run!" Ethan screamed. The group scattered in all directions, but the Headless Horseman set his sights on Ethan. By the time the other teens alerted their parents, who in turn called the police, it was too late.
Can't really think of one.
All that remained of Ethan in the graveyard was his lifeless body with a slit
I don't think actually
throat.
gonna kill him.
Olivia, one of the girls who had been there, insisted it was a ghost of Sleepy Hollow, seeking a new head.
They're gonna think you're insane.
But the adults were more skeptical. The police launched a murder investigation. Based on the accounts of the terrified teens, they believe they had a suspect. The police banged loudly on the door of Mr. Mueller's house. He was under suspicion due to the threats he made on tour with Ethan's class and his obsession with the Headless Horseman legend. It was apparent to everyone that he was slightly unhinged and could be the killer. The police ransacked the empty house searching for evidence but found nothing. Not the murder weapon or even Mr. Mueller. Officers later found Mr. Mueller downtown at the library teaching an adult night course. His alibi was airtight, with no choice but to let him go. He expressed remorse for the teenager's death, but his eyes betrayed him, as he declared that the Haitian soldier's ghost was responsible, and the teen had failed to heed his warnings. The town was left on edge with the unsettling reality that the ghost of the Headless Horseman might still haunt their community. When Mr. Mueller returned home, he was devastated to find his house torn apart. As he started to clean up, I emerged from the basement, the bloody hunting knife in my trembling hands. "Uncle, Hans?" I called out gently.
What?
He rushed to me. "I am so proud of you," he whispered, wrapping me in a big hug. He was happy to pass along our family tradition, avenging the death of our ancestors and the Haitian soldier who fell in the Revolutionary War.
Y'all are insane.
I just wish
Go
I
get
had
help.
felt as good as my Uncle Hans did about it. I was only able to slit his throat, I said sadly. But don't worry, next time, I'll finish the job.
Call the asylum. They need to be in a mental asylum. What? Y'all are bro. Cut it, bro. Bye bye.